Stephanie Milky here, aka KetoMOM, or often called mom, sis, Steffi, daughter, wife, aunt, and friend. Just like many of you, I carry a lot of titles. My favorite title is mom. I should probably say wife, which takes a lot of my time. But let's be honest, if you want to do something and do it well, you will make the time for it. Commitment is hard because we find ourselves overcommitted, but when you practice prioritizing, you will find out what is actually important and what you can let go. With the KetoMOM podcast, you will learn together how to manage our time, commit to the most important things in life, and I will equip you with the tools you need to feel qualified each step of the way. My name is Stephanie Milky, and welcome to the KetoMOM Secrets podcast. Welcome to KetoMOM. My name is Stephanie Milky, and we're diving into your divine fingerprint. Before we dive into this conversation, which I hope you've been following along. So we started this book in the beginning of the month. I've been going through different books for almost 2 years to help you with your mindset, to help you understand the power of your words, your environment, reading, realizing that if you are here for fat loss, which most of you are, if you are here to create systems and habits to feel better, to work on your health and fitness, all of that is great. And I realized a couple of years ago that not enough people were working on either self-awareness or reading books. I mean, the amount of people that haven't read a book since college is crazy. There's even statistics about it. But in general, just a lot of this is about awareness, because when you have awareness around your mindset, environments, past things that have happened, habits, all of these things play a part in your fat loss. So if you've been here for a while, you get it. If you have not been here for a while, you can always go to ketomomsecrets.com. It's our blog. It's our website. You can click on it and you can go click on book club or how to get started or mom fuel or ketones or recipes. There's a lot of things that we've been sharing for the last 7.5 years with you. So in general, where are you tuning in from? And I actually want to ask you this question. We've been going through this book. It's about your divine fingerprint, like what makes you you, your greatness, your talents, your gifts. What do you have to offer the world, right? And so we've already talked a lot about that. You can go to ketomomsecrets.com and you can watch the past videos. But in general, today we're going to talk about your life sentences. I'm going to read a couple things to you, but it's interesting because he really goes back into the power of words or sentences that you're speaking over your life. And as I was reading through the book, I was trying to think of sentences that I say that might not be true, or things that I say because other people have said them. They're like common phrases. We'll talk more about that in a second. But let me ask you this question. If you're following along and if you're reading the book with us or you're just tuning into the lives, have you realized the power of your words? So if you listen to us, we talked about the power of your words. We talk about a lot of different things. Have you caught yourself in a lie? Do any of you have any more realization of how powerful your words are? I would love to know that. So today we're diving into the chapter. It's chapter 8, and it's your life sentences. It's actually, I'm going to wrap up this entire chapter. There's a ton of stories. I'm going to give you the basic overview and then ask you a question. We'll see what you think. So in the very beginning of this chapter, he tells a story of Jim Carrey. And he says Jim Carrey, before he became famous, would stand outside his door and he would look over the city, stretch his arms out, and he would say, "Everybody wants to work with me. I'm a really good actor. I have all kinds of great movie offers." He would just say these sentences over and over and over again. He told himself these phrases and these sentences, all these different kinds of words, before he actually had those happen to him. And so I'm curious, do any of you speak over your life in the morning? Anybody? Do you get up in the morning, look in the mirror, and tell yourself the things that you want to see in your life? I'm going to share something really silly with you. Don't laugh at me. But this is what I have said over my hair for years. So let me think of the year. 2018, we lived in Florida. Well, we traveled a lot. We lived in Florida and it was very peaceful. We had an incredible year of traveling and living by the ocean. We made a switch, and the switch was we ended up moving. My husband had taken a different, like a job. It was only going to be for 3 to 6 months, right? So 3 to 6 months, and it ended up being 2 years. In those 2 years, I didn't realize it, but it was just a stressful time. It was just a stressful season, right? So it was a stressful season. And during that time, I was losing a ton of hair. And I didn't realize that stress causes your body to react in lots of different ways. For me, my hair was falling out. So there's a lot of things that we worked on. One of them was, I know the power of my words. Do you ever find yourself saying things like, well, I'm always going to be this way. It's always going to be like this. I was born like this. Uh, just my luck. Do you ever find yourself saying things like that? So I've read enough books and I've done enough self-development and I have enough positive mindset that one day I went, you know what? First of all, we've worked on de-stressing. We actually moved away from that situation. Uh, and then I went, I need to start speaking over my hair. Like, we were doing different things. I upped my protein. I knew what I needed to do in my diet. I've talked to a lot of you women about just in general, most women not having enough protein. But in general, this is what I did for 2 years. Every day I would wash my hair. Every day I would comb my hair. Anytime I did something with my hair, I would say, Lord, thank you for my long, thick, strong, healthy hair. And I would comb it and I would speak over my hair. And it went from like clumps of hair falling out to like my hair being like my braid was like half the size of this. Listen, I know this might sound silly, but it actually is real. So for 2 years, I spoke over my hair. And probably in the last 6 months, I have people that are like, is that all your hair? Is that real hair? Because extensions are a real thing, right? Like pretty common. Is that your hair? How does your hair look so great? And I say, I speak over my hair. I thank it for being long, thick, and strong, healthy hair. Now, I will tell you something super funny. One day I was looking at, hold on, I almost said something that I don't want to believe. I was like, look at the hair on my arms. It's so long. And our 11-year-old daughter said, Mom, maybe when you speak over your hair on your head, instead of saying, Lord, thank you for my long, thick, strong, healthy hair, you should say, Lord, thank you for my long, thick, strong, healthy hair on your head, because maybe it's growing on your arms. What? Or my legs. Okay, that's a silly story, but in general, I would challenge you to pay attention to the things that you always say, or the common phrases that society says or people say over you or you say over yourself. And it might seem weird, but I seriously did it. Like, if my family walked into my room and I was in the shower and they probably would hear me go, thank you for my long, thick, healthy hair on my head. I just would say it over and over again, and I will tell you, I have de-stressed. We've changed our environment. I've worked on more protein. I've worked on lots of different things. And I think the power of speaking over my hair was important. I still do it. All right. Is that a funny story? Okay. We'll keep going. We're on chapter 8. It is the same. Okay, so he says this. When we envision what is possible in our lives and put that into words and thoughts, those words and thoughts create powerful messages that make real change and take place in our lives, like my hair. The things that we repeat over and over again in life sentences that set our lives on a particular course and cause us to bring about in our lives literally what we are saying. What do you think? Do you think that's true? Do you believe that? So there's a ton of stories that he tells in this chapter. I'm going to give you some examples. He gives a ton of sentences that people you might just hear. He's like, you should see if you can finish these sentences. And okay, I'll tell you why. He gives a sentence and he goes, oftentimes people can just fill these in because we've heard them enough in society and environments in our life. He goes, you will never amount to, and then he leaves the phrase. And he goes, instead of saying that, you should say, and then he changes them. He goes, I am who God says I am. Number 2, I can't win for, it's a common phrase. And then he goes, no, God made me a winner. Or, if it's too good to be blank, it's probably is, right? These are common phrases that you might hear people say. in and around your workspace, just in life. And then he goes and he changes all of these to be a positive outlook of, here's what I want you to know. And I sat in my chair this morning reading these, and I was trying to think of things that I might say that are actually trash speaking over my life. And I really couldn't think of something. So, in general, all of us say things that just we've heard over and over again. I want to challenge you as you're going through your day, not only to pay attention to the words, but the phrases that we commonly say, because they're spoken just nonchalantly. But in general, do you really believe that for your life? So it's really going to be another awareness activity. It's going to be you paying attention to what other people say. And I have to tell myself, is that truth or trash? Right? Let me think if I can find one. There's so many, like some of these I didn't actually understand. The grass is greener. The grass is always greener on the other side, right? How about this? The grass is always greener for those who are willing to plant seeds for where they want to go. Or we like to say the grass is greener where you water it. Things like that. You might find people saying little phrases and little comments. I would challenge you to think about those and go, do I want that in my life? Do I really want to be speaking that? Do I really believe that? Most likely no, no, and no. So one of our daughters, actually two of our girls, have been getting a sermon ready for church. So they want to speak at their Sunday school class. And so one of them, Eliza, is talking about the power of your words. And so she's starting her sermon or her talk off with this phrase. And I've said this before on here. Sticks and stones may break your bones, but can you finish the phrase? Words will never hurt you, and that's a lie. And I said, how many lies do we allow spoken over us, sentences and phrases we allow ourselves to say in general that are not true and I don't want to participate in? And also bringing awareness. So like she's going to talk to kids about the power of their words and how your words do bring life or death. We've talked about that here on the KetoMOM page before. So I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to say, hold on, let me find the one page I wanted to read to you. You guys, all of this is an awareness because as you have a aha moment or, oh my goodness, I've been saying this or I've been not wanting this, but I see why this is happening in my life because I'm speaking it, I'm believing it, I'm allowing it. I'm telling you right now, if you just spew your mouth with words and phrases over yourself and your family and your kids and you let other people do the same to you, if you just wait 6 months down the road, it would be interesting to see how many of those things came true. You get what you look for. You get what you speak, right? All right. I love he says this. He goes, he gave us 4 lessons as he was telling stories about sentences and words and giving you ideas of how to change the sentences and words over your life. He goes, lesson number 1, the proof of what you believe will be evidenced by how you think, be, and do your life. So in this book, he's talking about thinking, being, and doing, taking action. Lesson number 2, people will not believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. Number 3, you will not believe in yourself if you do not live what you believe is to be true. And then number 4, for you to achieve anything great, you must align your life with people who believe in you, which I 100% agree with. So whether you need awareness about your words or the sentence you're speaking over yourself, I could say this every single day. The books that you read and the people that you surround yourself with are super, super important and will ultimately, like you'll get to the end of your life or even 10 years down the road and go, you could look at your sphere of influence. You could look at the people you surround yourself with. And I really hope that you understand that while we're starting a new year, and maybe your goal is just fat loss or you just want to get healthier, there's so many things that you are called to do. There's greatness inside of you. There's things that you should be going after that maybe people have spoken over you that you started to believe, but it's not true. And I really want you to understand that this KetoMOM page isn't just here to give you recipes. It is here to encourage you in all aspects of your life. And whether it's focusing on relationships or spiritual goals or mental goals like your mindset or finances, there's so many things that play a factor on your health. My hair and even my hormones were legitimately screwed up because of stress that was in my life. I was eating fine. We were going to the gym every single day. And people don't realize the power of environments, people, stress, not sleeping well. All of those play a factor in your life. And then you've got to make a pivot if it's not working for you, if it's not a place that you want to be. If there's people in your life that you're like, it sounds harsh, but there might need to be people that are removed from your life, or at least from your life often. So, all right, we're going to wrap this up. He says, life comes in words. Speaking positive words into your business, into your marriage, into your children, into your job, into your sphere and atmosphere will result in an elevated outcome or the opposite, right? And so in the end, here's what he says. Because he, at the end of each page, if you have the book or if you don't have the book, he talks about think, be, do, right? Your mindset, becoming who you're called to be, your 1% factor, your divine fingerprint, using your gifts and talents, and then doing it, taking action. So he says, as you assess your thoughts, your words, your sentences, and your attitudes about various aspects of your life, you are discovering foundational issues that keep you from where you want to go. So B, he wants you to address it. As you discover the foundational issues through your personal assessment, you are more prepared to address those thoughts, those words, those sentences, and attitudes. You guys, it's an awareness. Whether you grab the book or you don't, you listen to enough right now. There's a lot of books that I've read, but just listening to certain people, whether it's in a podcast or at an event, all I often do is hear a phrase or, one sentence or a story is enough for me to make a change or have an awareness of, I actually need to change some things if I want different results. And then he said, do progress. Here's your action. Progress yourself by developing your 1% fact through understanding the discovery process of where you were and what kept you back, and implementing the new development plan to deploy your greatness. You need to have an awareness. You need to make a pivot, change your thinking, change your habits, and it's not overnight. All of this is a process of, first of all, leading yourself. We talked about that yesterday. Leading yourself, doing the things that you know you're called to do. Why don't just believe that you can do things? Get rid of the negative, implement the positive, take actions consistently every day, and you will see a different you becoming at the end of the year. Not overnight. It's a part of your mindset. It's a part of changing your words. So anyways, all right, that's the book. You can always grab it or just continue to tune in here. We'll wrap up this book here probably in the next week. And I don't know the next book that we're going to do, so I will keep you posted on that. Thank you for tuning in. Also, if you're watching live, today is day 5 of the intermittent fasting challenge, or our groups that we're doing. So for those of you who've been doing intermittent fasting, I'm getting a ton of incredible stories. You are taking your health and fitness to a different level. You're excited. It's going great. I'll be sharing more stories of people's stories in my stories. A lot of stories. But if you have questions about your health, if you need recipes, if you need to know how to get started, because that is a part of your health journey, right? Mindset, but also knowing how to get started, send me a message. I would love to reach out to you, answer any questions that you have. Go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on getting started. Or if you want to know more about the intermittent fasting, we've got a cool kit just to get you started. Let me know. You can post fasting in the comments or anything that you need. I hope you guys are having a great day. Reach out, and I'll see you on the next live.